and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we have a brand new pick a card reading, but before we dive into it, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. And if you have not heard of Skillshare before, they are a huge online learning platform where you can take classes upon almost any subject that you can think about. They have classes on photography, video editing, painting, interior design, starting your own business, beginning your own YouTube channel, more productivity, journaling for self-care. They have so many different classes upon a myriad of different subjects, whether you're wanting to seek out more hobbies for yourself or some deeper personal development, or whether you're wanting to be your own entrepreneur and start your own business, Skillshare likely has a class for you. And I've personally used Skillshare a lot within my own life. I've had my own personal subscription with them for years now, so I've taken a myriad of different classes when it comes to personal development, time management, when it comes to how to use different programs such as Final Cut Pro or Canva for making my YouTube videos or for making my YouTube thumbnails. And I recently took a class on there that I absolutely loved, which is all about journaling for self-care. And this class was taught by Amanda Lee. And I loved her approach to journaling because she makes journaling actually really fun. She's like an expert at journaling. And journaling is great if you want to clear your mind, gain more clarity, have more mental freedom, more mental ease. And it really also helps with setting goals and making yourself more accountable and having really big epiphanies and realizations. A lot of the time we have so many thoughts going through our head, but unless we're actually writing them down, getting them out, and really starting to reflect and see those thoughts, we're probably going to be stuck in cycles or loops that we don't want to be stuck in. And when you have a practice of journaling where you really start to get your thoughts out, you start to reflect on them, you start to see them, this is where personal transformation can really take place. And this is also where you get to see the progress that you're making towards your goals so that you can make sure that you're headed in the right direction. So I really loved her approach to journaling because she really teaches you how to clear out your head, how to get your thoughts on paper, how to have fun with journaling so it's not something that you just feel like you have to do, but it's something that you actually want to do. And then you'll also notice so many beautiful benefits that come from journaling. So I highly recommend checking out her class on Skillshare. She is such a great teacher when it comes to journaling. But again, no matter what it is that you're wanting to learn or whatever skill that you want to develop, Skillshare likely has a class for you. And the first 500 people to use the link down below in the description box will actually get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare, which you can take so many classes within 1 month. So I highly recommend taking advantage of that and checking them out because you're going to learn so much on a personal level and then also for whatever skills that you want to develop in order to better your life and to reach the goals that you really want to reach. So again, the first 500 people to click the link down below in the description box will get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare. And thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right back into today's pick a card reading. Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we have a brand new pick a card reading all about your life in the next 6 months. So what can you expect coming for you? What are you currently attracting, creating, moving towards through these next 6 months? The way that this video works is I use my intuition and I connect to guides, angels, and spirits of 100% pure white light to bring you information that's for your highest good at this time. And we have 4 different groups in front of me. And you're going to use your intuition to choose one of these 4 different groups, whichever the one that stands out to you most amongst the rest. Occasionally, your intuition might draw you towards multiple groups, and that just means that there's multiple messages for you in today's video. So you'd go ahead and watch all the ones that you are being energetically called towards or intuitively drawn towards. The way that you tap into your intuition is either visually, so perhaps when you saw the thumbnail of this video or when you clicked on it, maybe there's one that just stood out to you amongst the rest. Maybe there's one that gives a sort of like magnetic pull. It just sort of draws you in. Or perhaps there's one that you just feel like a calling towards. That is, of course, your intuition speaking to you, and that is the one that you would then go ahead and tune into. There's timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box so that you can easily navigate through this video and skip right ahead to your personal reading all about what you can expect in these next 6 months, what you're attracting, the themes, the events that are going to be taking place. And then if you need a different way to tap into your intuition, if visually looking at these groups is just not really working for you, another technique that I love to use is to use my hand and I just gently hold it over each of the piles to just see what I feel in that particular group. Am I feeling maybe one of them that stands out amongst the rest? Is there maybe one that gives me a hot or cold sensation? Is there one that I just feel more magnetized, more pulled towards? And so as you do that, you can pause the video, take as much time as you would need, as you would like, And then of course there's timestamps linked down below in the comment box and the description box. But always trust your intuition. Your intuition will always guide you correctly. And again, occasionally you might be drawn towards multiple groups, and that just means that there are multiple messages for you. That means your energy is resonating with multiple groups. So there's probably a lot of events that are going to be happening for you. But those are the two different methods that I love to use to tap into my intuition to find out which group is meant for me. And you can take as much time as you need, although most of the time intuition speaks very, very quickly. So usually it'll be a very quick sort of feeling or response that you get. But for those of you that like to choose with the crystals and you like to see a close-up of the crystals, I'm going to be giving you a close-up of these crystals. So over here on group number 1, we have this beautiful piece of Tanzanite Aura Quartz. So if you find yourself drawn to the Tanzanite Aura Quartz or to group number 1, then that is going to be your pile revealing what's going to happen for you over these next 6 months. Group number 2, we have this gorgeous piece of Amethyst. So if you find yourself drawn to this crystal, then that's going to be your group, all about what's going to happen for you over these next 6 months. Then over here on group number 3, we actually have a shell. So it's not quite a crystal, but it is a shell formed in kind of similar methods, I guess. The alchemy of the ocean. So if you find yourself drawn to group number 3, that's going to be your pile. Then over here on group number 4, we have this gorgeous piece of copper, which is also technically not a crystal, it's a metal, but same kind of thing. So those are our different group options today. There are 4 different groups here. Again, you can pause the video, take as much time as you would like in order to find out which group you are the most drawn towards. Then there's timestamps linked down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into today's video. All right, my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and find out what's going to be in store for you through these next 6 months, the events that are going to be taking place. Let's find out. All right, my group 1s, starting off with your Astro Dice here. Let's see, your next 6 months, what are the themes going to be? So we have the Sun in Scorpio in the 4th house. Ooh, there's going to be a transformation in your home life. Some of you might be moving within these next 6 months, or doing something within your home where there's going to be some kind of transformation. I'm really getting the feeling for a lot of you it's going to be a move. Scorpio is the zodiac sign of transformations. The 4th house is your foundation. It is your home. It's also your family life. So there might also be a transformation within your family dynamic. Perhaps maybe you're going to move in with somebody. Or maybe you're going to welcome in a new family member, such as a baby, into the home. Or perhaps there's going to be some other transformation. Some of you might be going through home renovations, home redecorating, things like that. The Sun being here as well, the Sun evokes a lot of our soul. It's where we feel like, I'm soul aligned to this. I'm aligning to what my soul feels like is my true home. So again, there could be like renovations that you're doing that are really exciting, that are going to make you feel more homey. There could be a move happening where you move somewhere where you're like, yes, this is the space I've always wanted, like finding your dream home type of thing. Or again, welcoming in a new family member or moving in with somebody where you're like, this is so soul aligned. This is so meant to be. I'm so excited about this. So that is the first thing that's going to be kind of transpiring and happening over these next 6 months, is this transformation within your home and welcoming in a totally new energy and feeling soul aligned within your home life. So let's go ahead and see what else we get here that's going to be transpiring and happening over these next 6 months for you. So we also have your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So as well, I'm kind of getting this feeling like you're going to be able to get much more creative when it comes to your home. But whenever we talk about like the canvas sort of theme within your life, over these next 6 months, it's sort of like you have this blank canvas where you get to paint something new. There's going to be a major transformation over these next 6 months for you. And I do really feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be tied to this home theme or to your foundation, because it seems like you're doing such a big transformation, again, such as moving or doing a renovation. And when we talk about like a renovation, for example, you do sort of have your your home as a canvas and you're kind of painting something new there. Or let's say you're moving, then you have a new canvas of which to decorate and which to set your roots in. Or let's say you're moving in with somebody or welcoming in a new family member. That's sort of like a new chapter, right? Where life is like a canvas and you get to paint something new. So Spirit is also coming through with a message here to be intentional about what you want this next chapter to be. Like, start setting your intentions now. Start setting the intention of like, oh, I want to create a space that's going to evoke more peace, more tranquility, more rejuvenation, more harmony, more laughter, more fun, more this, more that. You know, be the artist of your life, because right now you're really stepping into that artist energy. And there's a lot of energy behind you right now that is creating momentum within manifestation. And then creative accountability is also coming through. So again, Spirit's really saying like, be intentional with what you want, because there's also such thing as creative accountability. If you don't, for example, let's say you go to paint a brand new painting, but you don't kind of set an idea before you start painting. And then let's say halfway through the painting, you're like, I don't like where this is going. I'm going to start doing this instead. And then it just becomes this glob and this conglomerate of like many multitude of different things. And it kind of just gets discoordinated. If you want to stay really like coordinated with a vision, with what you desire, set those intentions of what you desire now to come through, because that's going to be what starts coming through for you. So Spirit definitely has that message for you when it comes to this new chapter that you're manifesting these next 6 months. We also have the cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So what are you devoting to? The cosmic heart. What's going to set your heart on fire in this next chapter? It's also asking you to define more of that. But another thing that I'm seeing when it comes to your next 6 months is you are going to be more devoted to something. There's something that's going to set your heart ablaze. That's something that's going to expand your heart. Something that you've been praying for is coming through. And it's coming through because of your devotion and the potency of that desire. Maybe there's been a desire that you've had for quite some time, and perhaps it's a desire around your home life when it deals with your family or who you live with or your foundation or where you live. There is a deep desire that you've had there. And I'm really seeing your heart's going to be set on fire because you're really going to love this new chapter. You're also going to really love your home. In these next 6 months, you're going to love where you live and you're going to love your home. There's like a potent excitedness there. And then we think about devotion and your home life. This is a place where you're going to be like, I'm devoted to live here for a very long time. I'm devoted to this new dynamic. You're going to really love this new chapter a lot. So let's see what else we get here for you in regards to your home life and also just in general these next 6 months. Let's see what else we have. We have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Ooh, there's something that's going to be breaking open. I'm going to relate it to the home example really quick, but then I'm also going to go into some other things that this is going to be talking about as well, because this is going beyond just your home stuff. But for one, when we talk about your home life and your foundation, perhaps some of you are really going through a deep renovation of some kind. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to throw away this. I'm going to throw away that. It's like cracking things open. It's like we're no longer keeping it the same way as it's always been. We're doing a deep transformation. We're throwing out old junk. We're throwing out old stuff that's no longer resonating. And we're cracking open new potentials, new possibilities. We're also getting more vulnerable. So when it comes to your family life as well, another thing that I'm seeing for you is becoming more vulnerable and more open about your true, deepest feelings, your true heart's desires, and letting yourself be more authentic, aligning yourself. I also see you going through a major transformation. I feel like for some of you, perhaps there was a time where you did hit rock bottom. Maybe there was like a recent time within the last year or so where it kind of felt like, you're just kind of like dragging through the mud, or you kind of, okay, there's multiple messages that are coming through. You've kind of maybe reached a point in your life where you're kind of, you don't want things to go about the same way that they have before. You're ready for a new chapter for a blank canvas to rewrite a new story and to also kind of rewrite a new version of you and a new identity. You're going through an identity shift. And a lot of the times when we go through such a big transition in our lives, such as moving in with somebody or doing all of these things, a lot of the times like our identity does shift and does change in some ways. Like we're no longer the same person. We're no longer just living by ourselves, or we're no longer living with our parents. And all of a sudden we find the independence that we were seeking and, you know, things like this. So you're going to go through a cracking open sort of phase where it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm no longer this outer shell. I've grown, I've expanded, and it's sort of like a snake shedding its skin, right? Because you've expanded, you no longer fit into the same clothes, the same identity, the same self-image. You no longer fit into that. So there's going to be a massive shift within your self-image. But then also when we think about rock bottom, we think about like a foundation, right? Which also correlates to the foundation that we have with the fourth house in your home. So rock bottom could indicate that you are shifting your foundation. You are literally shifting where you are rooting yourself. You know, when we're digging a dig out for like a home that we're building, sometimes we have to dig through the rocks to create a foundation. We have to hit rock bottom. We have to dig down deep to find out where we want to plant ourselves. There could be a lot of figuring out that's happening over the next 6 months, figuring out who you really are, figuring out what you really want, figuring out plans for something, plans for your new home, plans for your home life, plans for your family dynamic. A lot of family kind of decisions coming up over these next 6 months. And let's go ahead and see what else we get for you over these next 6 months and kind of what's going to be happening, other themes that you can expect over these next 6 months. There might also be a transformation in the way that you save money, by the way, because another aspect of the fourth house is it also deals with our savings, and we have 10 of Pentacles coming through as well. So yes, I also think some of you are going to be deciding to save more money. Perhaps even investing in something. Investing in a home could definitely be 10 of Pentacles for a lot of you, or investing in opening a business, setting the roots and foundation for a business that you're beginning. This could also be investing in such as like saving up for retirement for some of you. But the 10 of Pentacles is a card of lasting abundance. So this is going to be something that grows over time. So this is making me think about starting like an RRSP. This is making me think about investing in land or property, or investing in like stocks or other investments. Just think about the word investments. You're investing your time, energy, and money and resources into something that's going to be something that grows with time. Starting a savings account. It could literally be as simple as that, like starting a savings account and then being able to put certain amounts of money away. But 10 of Pentacles is giving you this energy like this is going to be something that grows with time, and it's going to grow exponentially. And I feel like you're going to be able to, like 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, you're going to be able to look on kind of that investment that you made, and it's going to grow exponentially. So within these next 6 months, I think that you're going to be making decisions that really help your finances. And it could even be as well like opening and starting a business. For some of you, if that's been what you're thinking about, fourth house can definitely tie into that. And this would be beginning a business where it's just like, I plan for this to grow exponentially. I plan for this to grow more and more. And so if that's a foundation that you're setting as well, all of that is correlated here as well. There's many different layers to tarot, and a lot of the times it speaks on many different layers. So some of you might be moving and also deciding to like open up a retirement savings plan, and also deciding to open up a business, and also deciding to, do these new things that are going to help with growth and expansion. So for all of you watching this, there's going to be shifts within your home life, and there's going to be shifts that help grow your finances exponentially, but it's going to be a long-term kind of process and a long-term goal that you have, and it's going to continue to grow exponentially, right? So this is going to be something like a long-term investment that you're going to be making here. And we also have the High Priestess coming through. So there could also be different plans that you have right now, ideas that you have that are going to be revealing more and more of that path over these next 6 months. In this card, I'm seeing hidden opportunities or things that you don't quite see yet. Like maybe you have an idea for something, but you don't quite know the actual plan or path that that's going to take. But the idea is going to settle in. The idea is going to come to you. The path is going to be more and more revealed. There also could be something that you are working on behind the scenes. Because another thing about the High Priestess is it talks about things that we're doing behind the scenes, behind the curtain, right? We haven't quite pulled back the curtain yet to show what we've done, to show what we've been working on. It's sort of like this more kind of like, it hasn't been quite revealed yet, but it's getting worked on in the background type of thing. And that's also going to be something that pays off. It's also going to be something that your energy is going to being put towards through these next 6 months. And let's see what else we get here for you. My group ones, already so much information coming through and we've barely got into a whole lot of cards yet, but that's just the beauty of spirit and how they speak through all of these cards. So let's see. What else do we have for my group ones through these next 6 months? Woo! Oh, okay. We have this cool card. I cannot pick it up off the floor for the life of me because of my nails. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So we have Queen of Swords that also came out. I see you stepping deeper into your power. And one of the most beautiful things about the Queen of Swords is that you see how she holds the sword here, but then she also holds her hand out. Her hand being held out symbolizes that she's compassionate. She's compassionate for others. She wants to hear what others have to say. She extends a reaching hand out. It's like saying like, hello, like I'm here for you, that kind of energy. But also the sword says, you can't fool me. I have a lot of discernment. I have a lot of intelligence. And basically, she's somebody who can't be fooled and cannot be walked over. She's very assertive. She's assertive, but compassionate. And she has that beautiful balance. Okay, so that's why she has that sword there, because it's kind of protecting her heart, but yet she's also compassionate at the same time. And she also knows how to utilize intuition plus her mental logic. She knows how to balance those. So another thing that I'm seeing for you is you stepping more into your authentic truth, being able to use your authentic voice. If there's something that maybe you've been needing to be more clear about, or even gain clarity for yourself. This could be internal clarity, but this could also be speaking about things to help others become clear about what your true feelings are, or having really important discussions, putting together really important plans. The Queen of Swords is also connected to writing, planning. She's a little bit connected to contracts, but she's more on the networking side of things, or at least in like the drawing up of things, the planning of things. Whereas contracts are usually a bit more associated with either the King of Swords or the Ace of Swords, but occasionally Queen of Swords can talk about signing contracts as well. But she's mostly like the writing, the planning, the drawing up, the idea kind of creatrix, I guess you could say. And so there could be a lot of things that you're working on in that realm, doing things with your voice, with networking, with connecting, with learning, and also vocalizing, communicating your ideas in a very clear way, refining your ideas, having important, deep conversations that help you reach the next level with somebody or help you understand somebody better. And let's see what else we get here for you over these next 6 months. What else is going to be happening? I'm seeing you really planning something big, planning something deep here. We also have Sacred Destruction. This is also making me think about those of you that are going through a renovation right now. There could also be a renovation just within yourself, like a self-renovation, right? And that's why we also have this cracked open energy, because there's a internal transformation that you're going through as well. And it's sort of like the destruction of the old way of doing things to reinvigorate a sense of newness, to create better flow, better harmony, a structure that's more stable. There could have been habits that you've had in the past, habits with your home life, maybe with keeping your home clean, that maybe you're like, I need to destroy this old habit because this is, making my home get messy too fast. Or I need to destroy these old subconscious habits of me not cleaning up after dinner, or not putting something away and instead just putting it down. Don't put it down, put it away, right? So maybe you're going to be destroying old habits that have kind of kept clutter around, or that have made you kind of feel dissonant or not quite with the solid foundation that you wanted. There's going to be some destruction around there in order to bring you to a new foundation with new rules, new habits, new patterns, new financial choices, new financial musts. So destroying old, silly financial decisions and being like, you know what? Nope, no longer doing that, no longer making that choice. There's going to be some destruction with those things that are going to really help stabilize you. Then we also have sacred sexuality coming through as well. So this is making me think like there's a very fertile energy for you. This could be fertile with ideas. This could also be fertile in the sense of creating, a baby for some of you. Like literally it can be taken in that way as well. I don't feel like that message is for every single one of you. You're going to know whether or not that's in alignment. I sometimes get on the comments here, these are general readings, so I point out all the different options within these readings, but you'll be able to know whether it's going to apply to you or not. Because let's say that you're single as a Pringle and nothing's going on. You're just like, wait, pregnancy? That doesn't make sense for me. Then of course it doesn't apply to you. You would take sacred sexuality in the sense that you're going to be fertile with ideas. You're going to be more cautious of who you let into your world, who you let have a hold of your time, your energy, your resources, just being more cautious of that. But some of you, like, let's say you're like, you know what, I think I am at that stage of like family planning or things like that. Sacred sexuality can also be family planning, right? And especially when it's near sacred destruction, because it could be like removing the goalie, let's say. But anyway, sacred sexuality, for those of you where it's not pregnancy related, this could also indicate being more mindful of who you share your time, your energy, and your resources with, being more conscious of that. And then sacred sexuality could also be that your passions, like you're much more fertile with ideas, much more fertile with inspiration. So it can also indicate that. But with that being said, let's get into any last information for today's reading for you. Anything else that Spirit wants to say about these next 6 months? We have the card of teach coming through. Some of you might be planning on teaching something. When we take that in the literal sense. This can also indicate learning for some of you. Maybe there's something that you're like, oh, I'd love to learn that. So who teaches that? Where can I find out the space to learn this? There could be new skills that you're learning through these next 6 months. But for some of you, if you're like planning on teaching something, or if you work in the teaching industry or anything like that, there could be something that you are planning or getting ready to create and teach. It says, inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. So learning from the experiences around you. And again, learning new skills, like things that you're interested in over these next 6 months, are also going to be something that happens. And especially for those of you that are going to go through like home renovations or renewing your finances in some way or things like that, that's also going to be where you kind of like, you're being taught something. You're going to be learning a new skill, new things, new experiences that you didn't have before. Let's see what else we get here for you. We also have the card of light. Look to the space between the trees for answers. So if you're ever confused about something, look where you haven't been looking, and that's where you're going to find your answers. And sometimes what I like to do if I'm like really confused about something, sometimes I like to take a drive down a street that I've never driven down before. And the reason being is because when you're in an environment where you've never seen that area before, you've just never been there before, your eyes are taking in new information. Your subconscious is not familiar with where you are. Therefore, it's much more prone to developing new ideas or thinking outside of the box when you're in a different environment. And a lot of the times when I personally have writer's block or I'm personally stuck within a problem, I like to get out of my familiar environment. Whenever you're in your familiar environment, it can be really hard to come across new ideas because your current sort of thoughts, like everything around you is familiar, and it's going to evoke familiar thoughts within you. Therefore, when you go on a drive, and let's say you drive down a street, it could be any street that's even near you that you're just like, I've just never driven down that street before. Literally just go there, go for a walk. You're in a new environment. It's going to evoke new ways of thinking. So anytime that you're confused about something and you want to find the light, you want to find the answer, look to the space between the trees for answers. Go somewhere you've never been before, and the answers are likely going to come to you. So that's the little messages that wanted to come out here at the very end. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video and today's reading all about your next 6 months. If you're interested in any beautiful crystal jewelry, my jewelry company LunaGem just came out with the most gorgeous brand new beaded bracelets. We use authentic crystals. This one is rose quartz. This one is ruby, which we've never had ruby before, and the ruby is so beautiful. And then we also have blue topaz, which we've never had blue topaz online before, and it's absolutely stunning. Like, these might be my new favorite bracelets, but my favorite bracelets change all the time because all of our bracelets are like literally stunning. But anyway, if you're curious about any crystal jewelry, we have these on the site. We also have gorgeous rings, so definitely go check that out. All the information will be linked down below. And thank you so much for joining me here for today's video, and until next time, bye. All right, my group number 2s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your next 6 months. So let's go ahead and see what's in store for you. All right, my group 2s, let's see your next 6 months. We have Neptune in Cancer in the first house. So Neptune is the planet of dreams and fantasies, and also like cutting through illusions. So this being in Cancer in the first house is all about you, your self-image, your identity, who you are, who you show up as, what your authenticity is. And Neptune being here, I almost feel like there's gonna be this embodiment of your dream self and the cutting back of old illusions, old aspects of you that you're just like, you know what, that's not me anymore. And when we think about cutting back illusions, what I'm talking about here is things that used to take away from your self-worth or made you feel like you couldn't be who you truly are. So this could be things like, oh, I am gonna be judged if I talk about my spirituality, or I'm gonna be judged if people know that I'm spiritual, or I'm gonna be judged if people know what I truly want to do for a living and who I truly want to be, or, you know, just all those different types of things. It's kind of like, you know, you're going to be cutting back those inhibitions that used to hold you back from who you really were. Cutting back through old illusions. I feel like a lot of you who chose this pile, you're on a spiritual awakening journey right now. And you're possibly also on a self-transformation journey. So you could be reading self-transformational books, taking self-transformational courses, doing all kinds of things in order to reinvent you or to do some shadow work to reveal who you really, really are at your core. But I really see you stepping into your highest self over these next 6 months. You're creating your dream self. Neptune over here, you're creating your dream self. Being in the zodiac sign of Cancer, it's like you're really starting to get more emotionally tuned in to your wants, your needs, your desires. I feel like there's going to be emotional releases, emotional healing. Putting yourself first, putting your desires first. I also see more self-love coming through, especially with that Cancer energy. I'm seeing a lot of like self-love, being able to evoke self-love, and doing so from a place of like confidence and from a place of like stepping into your truest, highest dream self, like embodying your dream self, becoming the person you are most inspired by, which is something I absolutely love. And I absolutely I'm here for this for you. I'm excited for you. What's the expression that they use? They use the expression, love this for you. So anyway, love this for you. This is going to be exciting. Let's see what else we get here. We also have Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. So right now you're actually really surrounded by your spirit guides, your spirit team. And I feel like this is something that you're actually really meant to go through this lifetime. So this is like a really divine kind of spiritual awakening that you're going to be going through over these next 6 months. Again, your spirit guides are here. They're helping you pull back the curtain, pull back the illusion of who you thought you should be, different areas of yourself that you used to hold back. You're going to start to notice that actually events and situations and people start appearing in your life that help you start to see that mask that you've been wearing. And it's going to help you notice like, oh, hey, I need to take this off. I need to be more authentic. I need to be more myself. And then when we also talk about Council of Light, I'm also feeling like the people that you surround yourself by is going to shift a little bit. Like I'm seeing new people coming into your life that actually really align with the version of you that you're desiring to step into. So perhaps you're on this spiritual awakening journey, and maybe there's people around you that don't understand it. Maybe there's people around you that are like, what? What is manifestation? You're doing this what self-improvement? You're going after what goal? You know, maybe certain people had certain desires and expectations for you, like maybe your family members, right? Council of Light. Maybe your family members had certain dreams, goals, and desires for you. Maybe they've told you or tried to guide you into, you know, picking something that's reasonable, picking something that is, you know, what they would deem a responsible choice. But perhaps you have dreams, goals, and desires within you that don't quite align to what other people have desired for you. And I see you putting yourself first in these next 6 months. I see you stepping outside of that sort of box that you felt like you've been put in through your life so far. And you're going to be putting yourself first and being able to step up, to be authentic, to use your voice and to just say, you know what, I'm actually going to be the leader of my life. And I know that you might want these certain things for me, but I really believe in myself. And I really see you going on this journey of being able to believe in yourself enough that it doesn't matter whether or not other people believe in you. It doesn't matter whether or not other people are on the same page as you. This is about you putting yourself and your dreams, goals, and desires first and believing in yourself enough that you don't need external validation anymore. You don't need everybody to be on your side. You don't need to convince anybody of anything, right? You are going to be attracting new people into your life that really do align to you and align to your vision and also believe in you, which is going to be really nice to have that support. But maybe that support isn't going to come necessarily from everyone, right? And maybe Neptune, because it's the ruler of illusions and cutting back illusions as well, right? So there might be certain people in your life who've always told you, like, oh, you can't be what you want. That's a 1 in a million chance. Or people like us don't become that. People like us don't get to that particular goal. People like us don't manifest lives like that. Let's like settle back to this, right? Maybe you might even notice some of those thoughts coming up. Maybe no one's actually telling you these thoughts, but maybe you've been programmed with this mentality from childhood, and maybe you're going to notice that popping back up, and it's going to kind of be holding you back, but you're going to notice this resistance because it feels like you want to go this direction, but then your old programming, your old beliefs, and sort of how you were raised is pulling you in that direction, and there's kind of this dissonance. And I see you putting yourself first through these next 6 months, choosing your own path. And it's going to be like totally wildly different. We also have fill up your well, retreat, rest, and refuel. So this is about you filling your cup, not about people pleasing anybody else. It's not going to be about like, oh, this would make this person happy though, so maybe I should do that. This is going to be more about you seeing and figuring out, what do I actually want in life? Who am I? You're going to be figuring yourself out over these next 6 months, and you're going to start to realize that you're a little bit different than who you thought you were. And you want different things than what you were maybe raised to want or what you've been currently going after in life. It's sort of like this wake-up call of like, I think I'm a little bit different than that. I think I have different callings than what I've currently been pursuing, and I've only been pursuing these things because other people told me that that's what I was supposed to be pursuing. You're going through a wake up over these next 6 months, my group twos. You're going through a massive, massive awakening and realizing that, crap, I think I've been following a life that I didn't necessarily choose for myself, at least consciously. But it's actually going to be the best possible thing that could ever happen to you. So you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. What is your true north, right? Not somebody else's true north. This is about you. In these next 6 months, you're going to be facing your true north. You're going to be recalibrating your direction, recalibrating your choices, recalibrating what you're headed towards, what your destiny is. And I also see you taking some time back from something. Maybe there's something that you were pursuing and you're kind of like, hold on a second, I don't think that's really resonating with me anymore. So that's why I have retreat, rest, refuel. And the way that you refuel is by focusing on what are the things that actually fill up my cup rather than me pursuing things you know what's interesting is when our parents kind of like guide us to, I'm using parents as an example, but sometimes it's society that programs us, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's whatever. But let's say that you're trying to fill a position in order to please someone else, in order to please your parents. You're like, I'm going to go with this direction in my life because it's going to make my dad happy. It's going to make my mom happy. It's going to make society happy because this is what society says that you should do. What you're actually doing is you're taking society's cup. We all have a cup, right? It's our cup of fulfillment, our soul's fulfillment. When we're living for other people, we're saying, hey, I'll take your cup and I'll go dip it. I'll go take all of my time, all of my energy to dip it into the well of fulfillment and then give it back to you and be like, okay, are you proud of me yet? Are you proud of me yet? But then what we don't realize is we have our own cup and we weren't paying attention to filling our own cup. And we're wondering, why do I feel empty inside? Why do I feel out of alignment? Why does my soul not quite feel happy? It's because we were filling up everyone else's cup. We were filling up society's cup. We were filling up dad's cup or mom's cup or our friend's cup. Over these next 6 months, I think you're realizing the importance of filling your cup. And here's this interesting piece of wisdom. We're all responsible for our own cup. You are not responsible for filling your dad's cup, your mom's cup, your friend's cup, society's cup. You're not responsible for those cups. Those are not your cups to fill. They're literally not your cups to fill. The cup that you're meant to fill is your own, and everyone else is responsible for their own. It's not your job to fill those, right? And so I think one of the most important realizations you're going to be having over these next 6 months is to fill up your cup. Let's retreat from filling up the other cups. Let's leave those cups be. Mom, dad can pick those cups back up and fill it up themselves, right? And their cup shouldn't be determinant on what you do with your life. Your cup should not be determinant on what other people do with their lives. Your cup is determinant on what you do with your life. Because this is time for you to retreat from the other cups, to rest for a little bit, reset yourself, and refuel by filling up your cup, right? So let's see, what else do we have here for you? My group number 2 is all about these next 6 months. What's going to be happening for you? We have the Hermit. Spiritual awakening to the maxi max over here. I can't believe I just said that. That was really corny. But anyway, the Hermit. The Hermit is when we take time away for ourselves, we retreat, we rest, we kind of go inwards. We probably desire to spend a little bit more time on our own and more in solitude, which makes sense. I mean, you have the first house over here, you have Neptune, you have Cancer, and I mean, Cancer, the zodiac sign. But all of these, like Cancer deals with, it's when we're into our intuition, we're tuned into our intuition. You also think about the crab, it's the hermit crab. Cancer's sign is the crab, and the hermit is connected to the crab, the hermit crab, who is spending more time alone. They're in their own shell because they're going through their own metamorphosis. You're going to be a little bit more in your cocoon over these next 6 months because you're going through your own inner alchemy. You're going through your own metamorphosis where you're leaving behind the external world for a little bit to discover who you really are and what you really want. And the hermit is deep introspection, deep discovery. And his lantern over here, the lantern is like his discovery of his unconscious, the unawakened aspects of himself. So you're going to be discovering aspects of yourself that you've never even tapped into before, you've never even awakened before. So over these next 6 months, there's going to be a huge internal, deep transformation that you go through. It's going to be wild, it's going to be amazing, but it's going to be perfect because it's going to lead you to who you really are and who you're meant to be. You know what's interesting is when I flipped this over, there was something that kept telling me, I really want to turn it up this way. There's something that literally, and believe me or not, and usually I'll feel that, like when a card is like this, I'll be like, oh, I'm just really intuitively called to flip it this way or whatever. I was so called to flip it in the way where it's going to be upright actually, but I'll give you both definitions regardless, because maybe there's some of you where both are going to apply. Either way, this card completely applies to everything that we've been talking about. The Chariot and the two horses. The two horses are kind of like a choice or a decision. It also represents the two different hemispheres of the brain. It also represents logic versus intuition, or fear versus like courage. It's the duality. And there's some sort of duality, inner conflict that you've been going through, which is exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. We already know what this means. It means kind of like, am I going in my direction, or am I going in the direction that didn't feel that authentic to me? And whichever horse that we feed is going to be the stronger horse, and it's going to be the one that ends up leading our carriage, because the chariot, the two horses are pulling the carriage. And depending on which one you feed the most is going to determine the direction of your life. So are we feeding the horse that is guiding us to what we desire, or are we feeding the horse that is people-pleasing or doing what society wants, or having us live in fear? One of the horses rules fear. And if we're feeding that horse the most, if we're feeding our fears, such as like, but what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I get rejected? What if, everyone else was right? What if all these things? The more we feed those thoughts, the more we feed that side of our mind, that it will be the direction we end up going in, because that's the direction that's going to end up controlling us and leading us, leading all of our decisions, leading all of our actions. But when we feed the horse that says, I believe in myself and I want this, therefore I'm going to go for it. And yes, I might make mistakes along the way. Yes, there might be some bumps on the road, but I'm going to continue going that direction because at least it fills my soul. Ooh, there's going to be a whole different direction that you end up going in, right? And the chariot, another thing that I'm feeling for you is you're going to be making decisions that affect your entire direction of life over these next 6 months. We have two major arcana cards coming out for you thus far. This means you're going through a major time in your life. And both of these cards, I'm feeling like this energy of this spiritual awakening and this big decision that you're going to be coming up to making. And it's really asking you, are you going to live life for you, or are you going to live life for others? And then another aspect of, you know what, I was literally about to say, when I was talking about there's two major arcanas that came out so far, I literally felt like saying, my intuition tells me that the next card that comes out for you is going to be another major arcana card. What do we have here? We have the sun. And it did come up in the reverse position, so we're going to keep it that way. But I literally felt that. I was like, it's going to be another major arcana card, because I already feel like you're going through such a major time in your life that it only makes sense that another major arcana card is going to come up, because this is such a significant time in your life right now. The sun deals with your confidence. It's also your ego. It's also happiness. And the sun card, it's a very happy card within the deck. And it resembles a rebirth in who you are, and having discovered who you really are, and coming back to the true wisdom of your inner soul. These next 6 months are going to lead you to a happier time in your life. The reason why the sun card is reversed, which I'm going to tell you a secret right now, whether the sun card comes up reversed or upright, it is still an incredibly positive card in both positions. The reverse position, though, is telling me that over these next 6 months, there will be some, challenges to overcome, where at times you might not see the light, and you might be questioning, like, is this the right decision? If I go for what I really want, am I going to be happy, or am I going to regret it? I feel like you've been asking those questions. And that's why the sun card is coming up reversed, because it means that the day is a little bit cloudy, but the sun is still fully shining. So your soul is still fully shining, but there's clouds in the way, meaning that there's a little bit of confusion still. So over these next 6 months, it's like removing those clouds, dissipating those clouds. And the way that you dissipate the clouds, by the way, is when the sun is so hot, when the sun is so bright, that the clouds, which are made up of mostly water, it just like evaporates away. It evaporates even more. That's kind of what I'm seeing. It's like when you shine your brightest, when you step up into your authenticity and you allow yourself to be happy, you allow yourself to get excited about your path, that's the moment you're going to feel that alignment, and that's the moment where clarity comes through. That's the moment where the sun shines clear and bright with no clouds in the sky. And I feel like that is going to be the transformation that you are going through over these next 6 months. Let's see what else we get here for you. Ooh, that card just flew out. We have Underworld. The pressure that you feel right now is going to be so worth it. And I know that might not make sense. It's like, pressure? Why is pressure ever worth it? How are crystals formed? How are diamonds made? Under pressure. You are now forming into your higher value. When you think about the minerals that go into making crystals, by the way, you think about those minerals. When we just find those minerals naturally, it's just like, okay, that has a little bit of value, sure. But when we take those minerals and in the earth, under the heat, under the pressure of the earth, and with the time that it's under that pressure, and the more pressure it's under, the more refined and more pure that crystal becomes, because a lot of crystals, they have impurities within them. But the higher value crystals that have less impurities are the ones that are under more pressure, under more heat, for a longer period of time. It gets rid of the impurities. That's literally how crystals are formed, is like the pressure of all these minerals going psh, and it like squeezes out all the impurities. Right now you're going through a time in your life where you're crystallizing and you are letting go of your impurities. Your impurities are getting removed and dissolved under the pressure that you've been going through. And let's see, the next cards that we have the Alchemist coming through. So things are absolutely shifting for you on an alchemical level. Alchemy just means like transformation, basically. So you're going through a massive shift and transformation in your life over these next 6 months. You're becoming the alchemist of your life. You're taking past scenarios and transmuting them into gold. The alchemist takes lead, turns it into gold. The alchemist is also the earth, who takes minerals and forms it under pressure into crystals. That's also alchemy. That's earth alchemy, right? You're going through your own inner alchemy right now, which is basically a transformation. Then we also have get curious. You're also going to be expanding your curiosity, figuring out who you are, and the curiosity, Spirit has the advice for you. Get curious about you, get curious about your life, because it's going to be such a fun time to discover you, to discover who you truly are. These 6 months can be the best 6 months of your life, but what are you going to lead it with? Are you going to lead it with fear and doubt and scarcity? Or are you going to lead it with, I'm inspired and I'm going to create an amazing life? And yes, some people might, share their opinions with me. Some people might try to feed me with doubt. Some people might try to feed me with all those other kind of worrisome emotions, but that's fine. We can lovingly hear them out, but at the end of the day, you need to live life for you. And I feel like you're going to be boldly stepping into who you really, really, really are. And the more you get curious about who you are, the more you live life with those open wings of exploration, of embracing, yes, there's going to be challenges. Yes, I'm going to make mistakes along the way. But you know what? Those mistakes, they're going to teach me more. And there's this amazing quote by Nikola Tesla when he was trying to make the electric light, the light bulb. He failed thousands of times. In fact, he failed over 10,000 times trying to make the light bulb, right? And there came a time on his journey of trying to create the light bulb where everyone thought he was crazy. They're like, this is impossible. Why do you keep trying? You've tried thousands of times. You're crazy. And he was just like, and there was even a interviewer that said, like, aren't you going to give up at any point? Haven't you proven to yourself that there is no electric light? Haven't you proven that already by trying 1,000 times and realizing it's failed 1,000 times? And he goes, I haven't failed. I've only found 10,000 ways that it doesn't work. I've only found 10,000 ways that it doesn't work. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be a way that works eventually. I've only found 10,000 ways that don't work. I haven't failed. And in fact, he said, because I found 10,000 ways that don't work, I'm closer to figuring out the way that does work. That is the man of success. That is the mindset. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. That is the mindset of success. That is how you get to your success, is by knowing, like, yeah, I'm going to fail along the way, but each failure brings me closer to my goal. And that's literally the mindset of success. That's how you do it. So anyway, kindness. Take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. Be kind to yourself and others. So that's a beautiful piece of advice to come through, because yes, there's going to be people that share their opinions with you. There was even people that shared their opinions with me about, like, you're starting a YouTube channel. What are you doing? Like, that's like a 1 in a million chance that you're ever going to become successful at that. There's people who anyway, I even have family members that were like telling me, this is embarrassing. You don't even know how to speak on camera. This is embarrassing to even watch you do this. Like, just stop now. Just quit now before you make a total fool of yourself. You know what? The fact that I didn't listen to that is why I'm successful today. The fact that I didn't listen to the voices that were just like, what are you doing? You sucked at talking on camera. You're not good at this. You don't know anything about video editing. You don't know anything about this. And I was just like, you know what? But I'm going to learn though. I'm going to learn how to talk on camera. I'm going to learn how to edit videos. I'm going to learn how to set up lighting. I'm going to learn how to do all these things. So like, I'm just going to continue on. But I just, I took it all with kindness and I just didn't take it to heart. People are going to say their opinions. You can't stop them from saying their opinions, right? But when we have kindness, take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and be kind to others and just lead with kindness. But put yourself and your dreams into your own hands, right? Let's see what else we have for you. We also have light. Look to the space between the trees for answers. This one came up for the last group too. Anytime that you need insight on something, it's really helpful to do something you've never done before, or drive somewhere you've never gone before. Do something you've never done before, because as you do that, your subconscious is in a new environment and is able to think and evoke of new thoughts and new ideas. When you're in the same environment, looking at the same things, it evokes similar, familiar thoughts and familiar ideas that you've regularly thought and, been able to tap into in that environment. But when you change your environment, it really helps you evoke new ideas. So light, if you're looking for your answers, look by doing things you've never done before. That's what this card basically says metaphorically. Look to the space between the trees for answers. So that is what we have here for you. My group number 2 is all about your next 6 months. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I see that you are going to be forming into your crystal, literally crystallizing who you really are, figuring out who you really are, being the alchemist of your life, and being able to create something brand new and going on an entirely new path. So I'm sending you all so much love. If any of you are interested in any beautiful crystal jewelry, my jewelry company Lunagem actually just launched some brand new bracelets with new crystals that we've never had on the site before. Like for example, we have ruby. Okay, this one here is rose quartz, but then this over here is ruby, which I am obsessed with ruby. It is so beautiful. I cannot believe that we have never had this on the site before. It is one of my absolute favorites. And then we also have blue topaz now, which blue topaz is another one of my favorites. It is so gorgeous. It is beautiful. So if any of you are interested, we make bracelets according to your wrist size, and they're made with gold fill, so you can wear them in water. They do not tarnish. They are the highest quality bracelets you will ever find. And yeah, they're amazing. So anyway, all that information will be linked down below. We also have rings, crystals, and all sorts of other things on the site as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, so my group number 3s, if you chose this pile, this is going to reveal your next 6 months. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so let's start off with your astro dice here, my group 3s, and let's see what we have for you. So we have the moon in Taurus in the 5th house. So the 5th house is about dating, romance, children, creativity, passions, fun, joy, all those types of things. The moon is our emotions and our internal world. So I think that you're going to be connecting to more leisure, more fun, more pleasure, perhaps even emotionally opening up to romance and dating and opening your heart in new ways, maybe deepening the desire to be more open to other people and to romance and all those types of things. If some of you are already in a long-term relationship, this could be reinvigorating romance within that relationship, reinvigorating the spark and the pleasure and the fun and the kind of like romantic, kind of passionate energies within that relationship. Taurus is the sign that deals with comforts and what we're dedicated to. So something that I'm sort of feeling for you here is you're going to be creating a more comfortable life, creating a life of more ease, and committing yourself to a life that has more pleasure. Taurus can also sometimes be linked to indulgences too. So these next 6 months as well, I also feel you being more open to like, let me indulge in more pleasure. Let me indulge in more creativity. Let me indulge in more fun and excitement and ease and being more laid back, taking time off, taking a vacation, doing something that just lights up my soul that I find passionate. Okay? Like it's like you're connecting more to passion. There could also be like hobbies that you're going to be integrating more in your life because you're just like, I just want to be more fun. And sometimes we can take our hobbies and actually make money with them. And sometimes when we have Taurus connected to the 5th house, that can also be where we get really passionate about a certain hobby that we're like, I want to start making money off of that hobby. I want to start making it more practical, because Taurus does connect to the practicality of things. So I'm also seeing that perhaps some of you are going to take a passion and be a little bit more like, let me see what I can kind of do with this passion. So that could also be another aspect that's showing up here. But let's go ahead and see what else we get for you over these next 6 months. So my group 3s, what else is going to be happening for you through the next 6 months? We also have the holy renewal, rebirth, creation, cycles of healing, and initiation. Then we also have secret garden, planting new seeds, hidden dreams, and nourishment. So there's definitely going to be, over these next 6 months, like new ideas that you're putting into action. Planting new seeds is like planting new intentions. And I also see you uncovering hidden dreams that you've had that perhaps maybe you gave up on them at some point, or maybe you just never believed that they were possible. But it's like you're nourishing the hidden dreams and actually planting seeds to being like, you know what? Let me actually play around with this idea a little bit more. Let me just try and see if it works. There could be this like motivation coming through that says, let me actually just try it out and see how it does, right? Like there might be a hidden dream kind of uncovering over these next 6 months that says, I've kind of always loved this, and I've always done it as a hobby, and I've always really enjoyed this, or maybe this idea has been ruminating in my mind, and I do have a bit of like a creative spark for it. Maybe I should try it out, right? And the hidden dreams is very connected to the moon that we have. So emotionally, there could have been something where you're just like, you have a little spark for something. And Taurus is like, let's try it out in the physical world. Let's try it out and see if it sticks. Let's try to see if it grows. And we also have holy renewal, rebirth, creation, cycles of healing, and initiation. So there's something that you're initiating. There's a new beginning that's happening. There's also a rebirth within you that says, okay, maybe once I gave up on this, or maybe once I used to believe that, I wasn't good enough for this, or maybe I've tried it before and it didn't work out, but maybe I'm ready to try it again, right? The holy renewal. And it also taps into that creativity aspect that we were kind of talking about since the beginning. There's like a creative spark that's reawakening within you. Something that maybe you're like, maybe I should try that out again, and maybe I should like be a little bit more dedicated to it this time, right? This could also be the renewal of romance in your romantic life. Like let's say that the spark kind of, maybe we haven't been keeping up with our romantic life the way that we wanted to, or perhaps we've just kind of allowed that to take a back seat. You're reinvigorating romance in your life. You're reinvigorating passion and fun and excitement and leisure. Being able to lead a fun life rather than leading the same life over and over and over again. It's like, well, where's the spark of like fun and spontaneity? That is going to be revived over these next 6 months for you. It's like reviving that spark of spontaneity, of fun, of leisure, rather than living a life that's like just full of responsibilities and full of like the same schedule all the time. It's like you're really starting to reinvigorate a brand new spark. We also have the 2 of Wands showing up for you. So there could be something that you're planning as well, a vision that you have that you're thinking about. The 2 of Wands is a planning stage. It's sort of when we're inspired by something and we're getting ready to take action on it, and we're planning, and we're kind of like setting the foundation of everything that we need to prepare. And this eclipse that's going on in the sky, like I feel like there's this big energy behind what's happening, what's transpiring, this planning of something new, this thinking about, ooh, what if I choose this? Because I also feel like within the 2 of Wands, this is also making me feel like there's like 2 choices in your life. You're like, I could keep living the same life, or maybe I could like try to implement this other thing. Maybe I can try to implement this other idea and just see kind of what happens, see how I feel about it, see what this feels like as I start to plan this, as I start to move towards this new idea and maybe this trying out of this new lifestyle. Bringing in more balance into your life, right? Bringing more balance when it comes to leisure plus responsibility. living a life of rejuvenation and ease and relaxation, plus keeping up with what you need to keep up with. I think that you're going to be revising a bit of your lifestyle over these next 6 months, kind of bringing in more joy. I also feel like there could be something fun that you're planning, like as I'm filming this, we're approaching the summer, and these next 6 months is going to bring us into summer. And I feel like, you know, if you're watching this as I'm filming it, or if you're near summer yourself, or whatever season that you're near, because even sometimes we take vacations and leisure like during the winter because we like to escape the winter, whatever season that we're in, doesn't matter. There's going to be this desire to kind of have more fun, maybe even take a vacation, maybe take time off. The Ten of Swords, if some of you have been dealing with like pains, like backaches, or other physical ailments, over these next 6 months, I see you being much more determined to find time to relax and heal yourself. Because also we have this holy renewal, which was cycles of healing. When we talk about the Ten of Swords, it talks about something that has been bothering us or hurting us. This could be something that's mentally hurting us, something that's emotionally hurting us, or something that's literally physically hurting us. Maybe even spiritually hurting us. I feel like you're going to go through this renewal of like, I don't want to live a life that's hurting me anymore. I don't want to continue something that's hurting me anymore. And this is like reinvigorating the spark and reinvigorating healing in your life, because it's like you're beginning to prioritize your emotional well-being, prioritize your mental well-being. You're seeing the importance of all these things, prioritizing your physical well-being, really starting to realize what the importance of that is. Finding the balance between living a life of joy and living a life of responsibility. And let's see what else we get here for you. We also have judgment coming through as well. So judgment is when we are becoming more vulnerable, but it can also be, there's a lot of things I could say about judgment. So over these next 6 months, I feel like there is going to be this really loud wake-up call that says, I need to do something about this. I need to do something about my mental, emotional, and physical well-being. There's going to be a wake-up call of like, I need to do something about the life that I'm living, because maybe it's like, maybe we're just ready for more. And again, like just as we had coming out in the beginning, it's talking about living a life of fun and pleasure. Maybe there's going to be a big wake-up call like, have I really been living a life that I want to live? Have I been building the life that I actually desire to live for the rest of my life, or do I need to make some changes? Like judgment, there's this huge wake-up call. Look at these trumpets that are just like blasting at the person that's in the center. It's a wake-up call. And it's time where you're going to be sort of evaluating and judging your choices, judging your life so far. And this is perhaps something that you're even going through right now. You're perhaps even having that wake-up call right now, and you're kind of thinking like, have I been building what I want to be building? And do I need to make some changes? And this is actually a fun moment. Okay, coming back to the fun, the fifth house. This is actually a fun moment. These wake-up calls are sometimes the most beautiful moments of life, because they awaken us to kind of realize, oh wait, let me make some changes. But then we get to go to the fun drawing board, okay? We get to take out a blank sheet of paper and we get to write here. How do I want to change my life? What do I want my life to be? This is where you get to get creative, right? Fifth house, creativity, holy renewal, creativity. Holy renewal of your life is coming through in these next 6 months. A holy renewal of like, hold on a second. What kind of life am I living? Versus what kind of life do I want to build for myself? And realize you have the capacity to build a new life. Just like we have Secret Garden, planting new seeds, hidden dreams. What were those hidden dreams, and how can we nourish them to grow them to life? The Two of Wands is a card of planning. There's going to be something new that you're going to be planning over these next 6 months, because there's a massive wake-up call that says, I don't think I could go through life the same way that I always have. And this wake-up call could also be happening because of this 10 of Swords energy. So there could be something that literally goes on and happens where you're just like, I'm burnt out, or I'm frustrated, or, you know, this has been weighing on me mentally and I've just literally had enough. 10 of Swords is like, I've had enough of this, because the 10 is the last card in the numerological sequence of the pip cards, of the minor arcana cards. So the 10s is the finish line. It's literally when we're just like, okay, either we've come to a conclusion or a finish line, or it's like, in the case of the 10 of Swords, it's the card of like, I've had enough. It literally, I'm no longer going to be doing this anymore to myself because it's not working for me. It's leading me to destruction. It's leading me to feeling drained. It's leading me to feeling burnt out. It's leading me to feeling not myself, right? That's the moment of shifts. That's the moment of changes. That's divine intervention. And the Judgment card is divine intervention, because the trumpets, you can see, they come out of the sky. And on the original tarot deck, they actually come from an angel. So it's an angel coming through and a guide. And you can almost see it as God coming through too, being like, hey, wake up. We're going to give you a new calling, because it's like, again, there's something that was not sustainable for you thus far. So there's going to be a big wake-up call where you're going to be reevaluating your choices, reevaluating your life. And through that, you're going to create beautiful change, because it's like you're taking your emotions into consideration. You're going to be taking your mental well-being into consideration. You're going to be taking your physical well-being into consideration. And you're also going to be taking in consideration of like, I want to build a life that I am excited to wake up in every day. I want to build a life where I have fun, right? And that's like building your beautiful garden, right? Maybe you've kept that garden secret for a while because maybe it's just like we didn't think that we had time for it. We didn't think it was possible for us. We just didn't think it was practical. Maybe we just kept putting it off and procrastinating on it, thinking like, oh, I'll get started on that eventually. No, now's the time. These next 6 months are saying now is the time. Let's break this old pattern, because it's going to come a time where the universe is almost going to force you to break that pattern, because the universe, you are part of the universe. You're the universe experiencing itself through a human experience, and you are also a human experiencing the universe through your human experience, right? The universe, since it's experiencing itself through you, of course, the entire universe, God, wants you to live a life that you love, wants you to build a life that you love. God would never throw you here, put you here on this planet and just be like, go build a struggling life. No. Of course, we go through struggles because it helps us build, it helps us realize what we want through contrast. It has a lot of purpose. Struggle has a lot of purpose for our life, right? But you are here meant to live a life of beauty, of love, of joy, of high emotions, like feeling high on life. Yes. And you're so capable of it too. Oh, I got goosebumps when I said that. You're so capable of it too. And God is on your side, wanting you to build a life that you love. And that's why we have this wake-up call. So if you don't start taking action towards it, you're going to get this natural wake-up call over these next 6 months that say, hey, we need to make some changes. We need to start building a life that we actually love, because you deserve it. Sometimes in society, we're kind of raised with this notion of like, I need to prove that I'm worthy of a good life, or, just because other people are suffering, it means I should suffer too, or all these different things. But the thing is when you build a life that you love and you stop suffering, you actually minimize the entire amount of suffering that's in the world. And the more we all, bring in responsibility for ourselves, for what we're going through, and we start inspiring others and uplifting others through our own example, through our own leadership of building a life that we love, the more that you build a life that you love, and the more abundance that you attract for yourself, the more you can actually help others, the more you can uplift others. But the more that you say, oh, well, others are suffering, so therefore I should suffer too. The more that you say that, you just add to the suffering that's in the world. And we're bringing down the energy of all, and we're saying like, hey, because other people are suffering, that means we should all suffer. Well, that's not building a good world. But that's the logic that sometimes we take on. But then when we really think about it, it's like, no, the more abundant that I become, the more I can give back to others and inspire others and lead with example and help others, right? So anyway, that message just wanted to come through on a tangent. But anyway, back to your 6 months that are coming through. We have the outlaw, so you're going to be giving the boot to certain things, like, oh, I'm no longer going to be doing this. I'm no longer going to be doing that. There might be a certain area of your life where you felt kind of like maybe an outcast or felt a little bit more like on your own. And that's like, I really feel like you're going to be embracing your inner power, embracing your uniqueness, and giving the boot to things that no longer resonate with you. Paradox, we were just talking about an interesting paradox, which is like, the universe is full of interesting paradoxes. There's two truths that can be true at the same time. And what's an interesting paradox, whether you believe you can or cannot, when it comes to any goal, any desire, any dream, whether you believe you can or cannot, you are right. That's the interesting thing. Whether you believe that you can or cannot, either way, you are right. And why am I being called to talk about the Matrix right now? I have no freaking idea. But anyway, when Keanu Reeves, I forgot his name in the Matrix right now, I'm blanking on that, but he's basically like the chosen one. But then he goes to the psychic, and the psychic's like, oh, I'll be able to tap in and see if you're the chosen one. And she says, no, you're not. But it's literally because in the moment, he didn't believe he was. And so he was right. And so therefore he wasn't the chosen one because he didn't believe he was. But what's interesting is he actually was the chosen one. And he only became the chosen one once he believed he was the chosen one and knew that, oh, he is the one that's supposed to help. Isn't that interesting? That's an interesting paradox. There's two truths at the same time. So whether you believe that you're capable of something or whether you believe that you're not capable of something, either way, you're right. Because it's your belief that will either make it happen or not make it happen. Right? And so we also have take risk. So we have to step outside of our comfort zone. These next 6 months, you're going to be stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're going to be realizing the interesting paradox of oh, I used to believe I couldn't, and that's why I didn't. But now I believe I can, and that's why I will. So there's going to be a flip in your level of consciousness when it comes to yourself, when it comes to what you go for, when it comes to what you strive for, the goals that you set for yourself, and what you end up creating because of that. There's going to be that interesting paradox that you end up coming across over these next 6 months. So let's go ahead and see what else we get here for you, my group number 3s, about these next 6 months. It looks like there's a massive transformation of bringing in more joy into your life, because I want to come back to this. I know we've been talking about deep stuff, and I know I talk fast. I get so many comments about how fast I talk, but a lot of the times when I channel, the information literally comes through so quickly. And so I need to talk fast in order to keep up with my brain. Otherwise, I'm going to lose everything that I'm channeling. But anyway, something that we also need to talk about, because I know we've been talking about all the nitty gritty and the kind of almost tar that it feels like you're moving through right now. The 5th house, the fact that this came up as your initial energy about what is manifesting over the next 6 months, you are creating a life that is so much more joyful, so much more creative, so much more passionate, stepping more into your passions, more into your creativity, starting to believe in yourself more, live a life of more rejuvenation and spontaneity rather than a life of responsibility and pattern and all of that. So let's see what else we get here for you about these next 6 months. We had some fallout cards here. We have clearing, make room for growth. Make room for growth. Then we also have strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. So make room for growth, first and foremost, by clearing away old thoughts, patterns, habits, beliefs that used to hold you back, even doing a declutter of your physical world, your physical schedule, to make room for growth, to make room for newness. Strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. The more that you are rooted in who you are, in what you want, you need not fear the storm. And this actually comes true when it comes to, for example, when I was talking about if you believe you can, you will. And if you believe you can't, you won't. Some people question that and say, oh, well, I believed I could, but then I tried, and then I met an obstacle, and then I failed, and therefore I failed, but I believed I could, so how is that true? And then they ask me that. I cannot even tell you how many times I get asked this. And every single time I have the same response. If you truly believe that you could, if you truly believed it, it doesn't matter what challenge or what obstacle comes your way, you would continue forward because you believed that you could do it. So it wouldn't matter what obstacle came your way. That's when you have true belief. okay? But you were met with a challenge, and then all of a sudden you questioned yourself and then said, oh, well, this challenge shows me that I can't. Therefore, I'm stepping back into the I can't, I won't. If you believe you can't, you won't. So if a challenge comes your way and you're like, oh, well, that's the universe telling me I can't do it. If you take it that way, well, then of course you get back into the I can't, I won't. If you believe you can, you will. So you have to stay with the strength when your roots are deep. When you're so rooted in the belief in yourself, when you are so rooted in your vision, your goal, what you've set out to achieve, when you are so rooted in that, you need not fear the storm. You need not fear any challenge, any adversity that ever comes across you, because you have the strength to weather it. You have the strength to go through it. So that's the secret wisdom there. Anyway, the next card, oh my God, I can't believe it. The next card is literally resilient. Stay strong as the evergreen trees. This is your wisdom to become successful in anything right here. This is it. Stay strong as the evergreen trees. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. It's the same message. It's about staying resilient. These next 6 months, you're building up resilience like you've never had before. You're going to be able to weather any storm that comes your way in order to create a life that you love, right? Rather than feeling like you're not the creator of your life. I feel like you're awakening to being the creator of your life. And that is the message I'm going to leave you off with, because that is the message that we had that literally showed up right here. Your emotions are becoming so much more stable, so much more strong. You're becoming so much more clear about what you desire, about living a life of pleasure, of balance, of love, joy, and creativity. And the 5th house, you are stepping back into being the creator of your reality, which you're always the creator of your reality, by the way. But again, it's the same concept of if you believe you can, you will. If you believe you won't, you can't, or you won't. If you believe you can't, you won't. It's the same concept. You're the creator of your reality, but sometimes we give our creativity away by saying like, no, it's too hard, or we fall victim to circumstance. You, over these next 6 months, you're becoming so strong, so resilient, that you are stepping back and calling back your power to becoming the creator of your reality. These next 6 months are going to be the biggest wake-up call of your life, of realizing that you are the creator, of calling back your power and stepping into being the creator, to being willing to take those risks that you weren't being willing to take before, because 2 of Wands also talks about when you're in the castle still, you're like planning something, but you're not quite willing to step outside of your comfort zone yet. These next 6 months is you planning something and then being willing to actually take that risk and leap forward to try it, to put yourself out there and saying, I'm going to get to this goal. I'm going to create the life that I love. But it comes through actually taking that risk and stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is finally going to be something that you're willing to do over these next 6 months, because you're calling back your power and you're realizing the paradox of the universe, which says, if I believe I can't, I won't. If I believe I can, I will. And you're calling back your power through that phrase, through that realization, through that wake-up call. And these next 6 months are going to be so transformative for you, because it's going to lead you to, again, being the creator of your life, calling your power back, having the strength and the resilience and the clarity to get through it all. And that's going to be the most amazing transformation ever. I feel like you're going to be so happy for that transformation. My beautiful group number 3s. So that is what we have here for you. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love. And if any of you are interested in getting any beautiful crystal jewelry, I also just want to say, we just launched the most beautiful new crystal bracelets on LunaGem. We have Ruby now, which Ruby is one of my favorites ever, and I cannot believe that we did not have Ruby on the site before. Ruby is a super valuable, high value gemstone. It is so beautiful. It is one of my absolute new favorites. I wear it all the time. And then I also have rose quartz on here. And then we also came out with blue topaz, which is so gorgeous. It has also been one of my absolute favorites lately that I have not been able to take off. And then of course we also have other jewelry on the site, such as rings, necklaces, and we also have other crystals and all things like that. We make the bracelets according to your wrist size so that they fit you perfectly. And we also make them with gold fill so you can wear them in water and they do not tarnish. They're literally the highest quality bracelets that you will find when it comes to beautiful crystal beaded bracelets. So thank you again so much for joining me here for today. All the information for LunaGem will be linked down below just in case you want to check it out. And until next time, bye. All right, my group number 4s. If you chose this pile, this is going to be all about your next 6 months. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, so starting with your astrodice, let's see, my group 4s, what you have for your next 6 months. So we have the North Node, in Capricorn, in the 12th house. The North Node is about your purpose, your destiny, what you are moving towards. And it seems like you're going to be moving towards something that is more in alignment, especially creatively, mentally, internally. Like it's like your internal self is discovering what you're truly meant to go towards. The 12th house is also your subconscious mind and your belief systems. So I feel like you are making huge progress when it comes to your mentality, when it comes to your inner direction, your connection to your intuition, when it comes to what you believe, what you have faith in. It's like you're really discovering what you truly believe. And you're also discovering more about how the universe works and how you can make it work for you and how you can know the laws of manifestation to get what you desire or to create the life that you desire, how to make your vision a reality, how to make your vision your future, and really aligning to the future that you desire to create. Being in the zodiac sign of Capricorn over here, I'm also seeing more like mental fortitude, more mental discipline, mental structure, with going where you want to go and creating more internal balance is something that I'm feeling from this as well. So let's see what else we get for you all about these next 6 months. But I'm absolutely seeing like an internal, internal discovery of like what you truly believe and what's going to truly work for you in terms of like faith, in terms of believing in yourself. I'm also hearing moving on from something from your past, especially if you had past ties. If you've had past ties that were hard for you to let go of, like a past relationship or something from your past that you were still tied onto, I'm also seeing the courage to let it go and being able to move forward in the direction of your choice. So we also have plant yourself here, integration, embodiment, and grounded action. So integration, embodiment, and grounded action. Plant yourself here. I see you taking more action towards your vision than you ever have before, because I also think you're gaining a lot of clarity on what you want. If you've ever felt lost on your direction, that could also be why we have North Node showing up here, is that maybe some of you are like, I don't really know the direction I want to go in. I don't have the clarity of like where I want to go next, what I desire in my life. Or maybe you had a slight idea of what it looked like, but maybe it wasn't super duper clear. Maybe it wasn't just like, I know exactly what I want. I'm going here. I'm getting this. This is it. This is done. I feel like you're gaining so much more clarity over these next 6 months of where you want to be, where you want to end up, what your actual goals are, and you're going to be aligning yourself and your habits and your lifestyle towards creating that. So integration and embodiment of the future you, embodiment of being the version of you who's on that right path, the embodiment of that right path, the embodiment of the creation of your future, and taking grounded, aligned action, which totally makes sense because we have Capricorn showing up. You're really taking that aligned action towards the future that you are wanting to make and create for yourself. So let's go ahead and see what else we get for you here. My group 4s, all about what you are manifesting these next 6 months, what's creating. We also have the breathing rose. So heart healing, emotions, connections, time eases all pains. An interesting thing that I'm seeing from this is, remember how I was just recently talking about like letting go of something from the past? If there's something that you have still been holding on to, or even just emotions, this could also be like things that we were tied to or we didn't even realize we were tied to. This could be breakthroughs as well, because the 12th house is also like things that we're unconscious about. It rules our subconscious mind, right? So there could be things that we've been tied to, things that have emotionally hurt us, worries that we have, preconceived notions that we have about things, other barriers that kind of kept us stuck, other life situations that made us feel stuck. Or again, just being tied to something from your past. I feel like over these next 6 months, you're going to be healing, being able to emotionally, mentally, physically release past ties, past blocks, being able to move on and move forward with intentionality and clarity of where you want to go. There's huge healing that's going to be happening. And with Capricorn here, it's like you're really rising to the top. And you're also very committed on the vision that you are going to be moving towards. The 12th house definitely makes me feel like there's going to be like an internal revelation that is so deeply profound, so deeply healing over these next 6 months that it really helps you direct towards what you want to be creating in your life. Then we also have the Great Mother, surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. The Great Mother. There also could be emotional healing when it comes to your mom for some of you. Perhaps there's something like with your mom, or even if you have children, maybe you're the mother in this case, and there's like emotional healing here. So surrender to the mystery of life. Fall into her arms. This could also be the Mother Earth. Realizing you are always supported, you are always guided, being able to release your emotions, to feel comfortable, to feel safe being yourself, to feel safe opening up emotionally about what it is you truly are feeling, being able to heal any mother wounds that you might have, being able to heal anything like regrets that you might have, or other things that you're still holding on to that you're just like carrying with you. It's like the total healing of that. Let's see what else we have for you here. My group 4 is all about these next 6 months. What else is going to be happening for you, and what can you expect? Ooh, no, that one. I thought that one wanted to come out, but it did not. Let's see. Oh, that one wants to come out though. So we have the 4 of Wands. It did come up in the reverse position. So there's something here where you're going to be revising your foundation. There's also going to be something that's worth celebrating that you are working your way towards over these next 6 months. You're working on renewing your sense of foundation, but I'm also hearing from Spirit, there's like a little message here from Spirit, to celebrate your success, to celebrate your healing, to realize that you are worth celebrating. You are worth celebrating. That's for some reason coming through really strong. You are worth celebrating. I am also hearing like shedding happy tears is for some reason like coming to my mind. Shedding happy tears on something, like being happy about something. There's also a moving on energy. Moving on, being able to emotionally release that which does not serve you anymore. And you're going to be on a journey to discover your true fulfillment, because the 8 of Cups, look at how it's like there's like a missing piece. If there's been a missing piece for you, these next 6 months, you're going to be on a journey to finding what that missing piece is, and realizing that you have so much more value than what you've given yourself credit for. Some of you might be thinking about moving. That's something that I'm hearing here, especially when we have 4 of Wands being reversed and then the 8 of Cups being upright here. That's interesting. I didn't think moving was going to come up as a theme in 2 different groups, but it came up for another group as well. And I'm just surprised I'm seeing it as a theme here as well, like this energy of moving. But for you, it's this energy of moving where it might not necessarily be tied to home. It could also be moving on from a job that you don't resonate with anymore, moving on from a relationship that's no longer working for you. Or it could be moving home for some of you as well, especially if you were also attracted to the other group that talked about that as well. But for this group, I'm kind of feeling more of the energies of moving on from a relationship, moving on from a job, or just moving on from something that's no longer resonating for you. But there's definitely a moving energy. It's like we're moving away from something, moving on from something. For some of you, I'm also seeing a potential travel to go visit somebody far away that you've been missing, and traveling to go see them, but also keeping up boundaries to move away from something that's no longer serving you. That is coming up so profoundly here. Having the courage to move away and to cut ties from something that is truly no longer serving you. And it's interesting because we had this like heart healing and emotions and connection, time eases. So a huge message that's coming across from Spirit, especially if you're going through something emotionally right now that is, you know, hard to move through, because, you know, we all have situations in life where it's like, oh, that's hard to move through. What I'm hearing from Spirit though is this is going to be so good for you, and it's going to realign you to your true destiny, because whatever it was that you're moving on from was keeping you from what's truly meant for you. It was keeping you and holding you back from something so much more in alignment for you. So for example, if this is a relationship that you're leaving behind, yes, it can be bittersweet to leave behind a relationship, but at the same time, it gives us space to be able to welcome in the relationship that does resonate with us, that is totally meant for us and is going to serve us and is in total alignment with us. You know, sometimes it can be bittersweet to leave behind any relationship. Even if it is out of alignment, it can be bittersweet still. But in doing so, it gives us the room and the capacity to welcome in what is truly meant for us and the person that is going to be our lifelong partner. And so that is something that I'm absolutely seeing here, is like this ability to walk away from the past, to completely cut ties to the past, even though it might be bittersweet, but it's like literally welcoming in the future that is actually meant for you, and being able to stride into that with ease, stride into that with excitement, stride into that with love and determination and commitment, because that Capricorn energy and the feeling of like, I can build the vision of my dreams. But there could be like a moment within these next 6 months, kind of more early on in these next 6 months, where you're still kind of moving away from the past. And then through moving away from the past, you get closer to the future that's actually truly meant for you. You get closer to the thing, the person, the circumstances, the events that are truly actually meant for you, that are going to bring in so much more positivity, so much more greatness, and so much more alignment for you. And I really feel called to talk about like the next card that comes after the 8 of Cups is the 9 of Cups, which is getting your wish. So you have to go on a journey first of being like, okay, there is this missing aspect where I'm not completely fulfilled. So I'm going on the search for that. But then, you know, it's like this huge journey ahead. But upon doing that, the next card in the sequence, the next card of the story, the next chapter of the story after is getting your wish. We also have the 9 of Pentacles, and it's in the reverse position. So one thing I'm feeling called to talk about here is like, there could be this feeling of lacking that's kind of permeating through right now in the present moment. This like energy of lacking, this energy of maybe lacking the money you wish to have, maybe the energy of lacking the lifestyle or the circumstances that you wish to have. However, I see that you are beginning the journey of realizing, okay, I need to leave behind what I've currently created, what I currently have, because it's clearly not giving me what I truly want. It's not giving me the abundance that I seek. So it's the courage to leave it behind, to go create and find the path that's going to lead you to the abundance that you actually deserve and what's actually in alignment to what your soul wants to experience during your lifetime. Your soul has a desire for a reason. So if you're sorry, I'm stuttering over my words. If your soul has a desire to experience more abundance, if your soul has a desire to experience a great, loving, fulfilling relationship, if your soul has a desire to experience living your dream lifestyle, your soul has that desire for a reason, because your soul came to this earth to experience it, because you have the capacity to create it. You have the capacity to create it. Your soul has a calling. Your soul's been telling you there's been a missing piece, there's been a missing link, because you're meant to go on your search to find it. And these next 6 months is honoring that calling, honoring that feeling that you have, and being able to be comfortable taking that risk to go for more, to go for what you truly desire, but to do so consciously, of course, with integrity, with patience, with inner belief, with inner trust, with all these different things. So being able to honor that and move towards that, these next 6 months are going to be transformative for you in allowing you to move on and move onwards and upwards. The wildling, we also have cutting something away, letting your life be a little bit more wild, a little bit more unpredictable. However, it's the courage to cut ties. cut ties. I also see you, there might be a desire to like cut your hair, to do something completely different with your hair. Just because hair is on this, it's kind of making me think about like there could be something with your hair that you're just like radically deciding to do, whether that be cutting, coloring, changing the style of it. And then the wildling also makes me feel like you're going into this new wild phase of your life where you're just like, I'm gonna be different. I'm literally going to be different. I'm no longer going to be held back, because I also feel whatever you were stuck in previously, whether that was a career or a relationship or whatever it was, you did not feel like you could be yourself fully for whatever reason. It kind of felt like you were limited or held back in certain ways, right? As you leave it behind over these next 6 months, you're going to step into this kind of newness within yourself, unblocking yourself. There's blocks are going to fall away where you feel like, ooh, it can be a little bit more wild and free here. I can actually let my true self out. I can do what I wanted to do that I felt restricted to do before. It's almost like you're stuck in something that you feel restricted in. You feel restricted in. You're going to be freeing yourself from that. And then through that, there's this ability to kind of really allow your true self to shine, to allow yourself to explore, to experiment, to make mistakes, to do this, to do that, to like do the things that you have felt an inner calling to do. And there's a reason why you felt an inner calling to do them, because your soul is desiring freedom, right? Your soul is desiring experience, and your soul wants certain experiences. So it's time to go out and do them, of course, with integrity, with patience, with love, with all the kindness and all those things, but still honoring what you desire. Right? There's a reason why you have that calling. And we also have the play card coming out. So you're desiring more fun, more play, more freedom to really be yourself and do those things that you've really wanted to do. It's almost felt like you were maybe stuck in something that was a little bit controlling. And now it's time to break free from that. Because the 12th house can also talk about oppressions, secrets, feeling like we have to keep a secret, feeling like we have to hide who we truly are. That's the shadow aspect of the 12th house, right? The 12th house also has a lot of positive aspects, but that's the shadow aspect of the 12th house. And I feel like for you, you're cutting ties with feeling like you need to be that way. And it's like really coming back to like, let me be free. Let me do what I want. Let me have fun. Like, let me live the life and build the life that I want to live. And then we also have the creator card. I was like shuffling off camera here. This card just came out into my hands, so we're taking that one out as well. You're stepping deeper into the creator seat of your reality. You're taking destiny into your own hands, taking fate into your own hands and saying, you know what? I'm not going to let life choose my outcomes for me. I'm going to instead be the leader of my life. I'm going to be the creator of my life. And the way that you do that is by making your own choices, rather than waiting for the universe to like make your choices for you, or rather than waiting for somebody else to finally make a choice. It's saying, I'm going to make the choice. And that's how you call back your true power, is saying, I'm going to make the choice. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to make it for me. I'm not going to wait till this person decides to, fire me. I'm going to instead decide, I don't want to be in this job anymore. I'm going to leave. It's literally being the leader, being the creator, not waiting for somebody else to do something, not waiting for somebody else to take action, not waiting for the universe to align the circumstances for you. It's literally saying, I'm going to start being the creator. And I really feel like these next 6 months is you stepping back into that power. And through that, completely new circumstances are going to start arising for you. So let's see what else Spirit has to say about these next 6 months for you, my group number 4s. You're going to literally start coming across a more fun, more joyful, more freedom-based life. There's a card that like flipped around in here. At least I think it did. Maybe it'll pop back up at some point. But anyway, woo, okay. All right. Spirit hath spoken. You're stepping back into having a more fun life. We have resilience. Stay strong as the evergreen trees. Resilience over these next 6 months is coming through. Resilience to stay strong, to stay grounded in your vision, to stay grounded, regardless if there's going to be somebody being like, no, please don't quit this job. We love having you here. And then you being like, oh, okay, let me stay. No, instead, it's like, no, I have this vision. I'm going for it. Or like a relationship of like, no, I can change. It's like, well, you said that 10 other times. And there comes a time where we just need to make a choice. So, those types of energies are coming through. You also have kindness. Take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. We can move with kindness And I see you moving with kindness, kindness for yourself and kindness for others. We also have reconnect. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows, deep in the woods. Ooh, I feel like you're going to be discovering some new information over these next 6 months that are going to be, it's going to be like really enlightening. So reconnecting to answers, reconnecting to your path, reconnecting to your, because you might have been holding secrets. You might have been holding secret desires that say like, oh, this is what I really want. Therefore, I'm reconnecting to what I really want. I'm reconnecting to kind of what I've been holding back, keeping inside, all of that. We also have path, wander on the path less traveled. What you find might surprise you. So I feel like you're going to be forging your own path, going on the path less traveled these next 6 months. And what you find may surprise you, because that's the way we get surprises. That's the way we get the surprise of life, is like by forging our own path. Doing things that's like, yeah, maybe it doesn't make sense, but this is just what I feel, and this is what I know in myself. This is what I'm being called towards. It's literally like listening to your soul. And that's what I feel like you're going to be doing over these next 6 months, is listening to your soul. And then we also have strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. And how freaking true is that? When your roots are deep, when you're very sure of yourself, you're sure of your path, and you root into who you are and what your soul is and what your soul wants. And when your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. It doesn't matter what challenges, what adversities come your way, what obstacles come your way. You're strong enough to weather the storm. You are strong enough to make it to the end and achieve your goal. Because again, when your roots are strong and deep, you need not fear the storm. That's just it. That is the secret wisdom of staying on your path and creating the life of your dreams. When your roots are strong, you need not fear the storm, my love. So that is what we have here for you. I feel like you're going to be working on realizing, like, I don't want to settle for something that's not fully fulfilling. It's like you're not wanting to settle in a job that's not fully fulfilling. You're not wanting to settle for a job that's not paying you what you really want to be paid. You're not willing to settle in a relationship that's not reciprocating the type of love that you desire to have. All of that, the type of lifestyle that you want, everything. You're going to be shifting things in these next 6 months that are going to lead you to completely brand new circumstances, allowing your wild self to come out, allowing a more fun, more playful lifestyle to be able to literally feel like you're the creator of your life, because you are. You are the creator of your life, and you're really calling back that power in these next 6 months and allowing freedom to be yours again, which is amazing. And it's going to lead you to the path of being able to create completely new circumstances, a completely new life, a completely new path, and a completely new destiny that's going to be in alignment to so much more abundance, so much more fulfillment, because we're leaving behind lack. We're leaving behind where we used to feel like we were living in scarcity, or we felt like we were living in a lack of abundance. We felt like we were limiting ourselves. We felt like there was a missing piece. You're uprooting yourself. The Four of Wands being reversed is uprooting. You're uprooting yourself to set your roots somewhere else where you're going to feel more inspired to stay. So that is what we have here for you, my beautiful group number 4s. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love. And if any of you, by the way, are interested in any crystal jewelry, I just have to say, we just launched some brand new products on LunaGem with some brand new crystals. So we have now ruby bracelets, which ruby is so gorgeous. I literally cannot believe we did not have this on the site before. So I've been wearing ruby all the time. It's like one of my absolute favorite new pieces. We also have this beautiful new rose quartz bracelet. And then we also have blue topaz, which we never used to have before. And it is so stunning. Like, look at that. These have been my new favorite bracelets ever to wear. They're so gorgeous. And we make them according to your wrist size. They're also made with gold fill, so they do not tarnish. You can wear them in water and all of those things. And they're super, super, super high quality. They're like the highest quality crystal beaded bracelets that you will ever find. So all the information will be linked down below for that. We also have rings, necklaces, earrings, all sorts of other jewelry and crystals on the site as well. So I'll also, again, that's all linked down below. And thank you again so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love as always, and until next time, bye.